This question I wanted to ask you is, what do you think is the best thing about being a porn star?
I think a lot of people might think, oh, you're famous, famous people know you, and I don't even realize the how far it goes. So I even now I'm still mind blown at how far my fan base goes. Like I have people contact me from France and from Nigeria and from the UK, and I'm like, all these people from all these different countries. You're really known around the world. I've never that hasn't sunk in yet. I don't even think that excites me. I think it's more so that I'm just fucking good at it. Really good at it.
So,
I'm good at it.
what's the best? Like, is the best thing the fucking, the money, the experience of meeting new people?
I think it's just the experience.
Because what is it like? You know what I'm saying? You meeting a
Mm-hmm.
guy outside of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Does it turn you on how turned on people are of you? You get what I'm trying to say?
It does. It does because I've had people, normal guys and not so normal, that they think, I don't know what they think. They see the stuff that the guys do with us on film, and they're like, I feel like they feel they need to compete. So
Mm-hmm.
she's used to performing with these 14, 15-inch dicks, these big dicks, and she like, I gotta show up and show out when I meet this woman. But then I bring them back down to reality. Calm down. Because most of the time when they do that, they overexert themselves.
Oh yeah.
They can't keep up, literally. And it's like, let me give you a little bit of, let me give you normalcy. Because when I'm having sex on film, even though it might seem one way on film, I'm still giving that performer my normal self. I'm not giving him anything I'm not going to give outside my actual bedroom.
Yeah, I get what you're
So
saying.
calm down and get to know my vagina. It's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even realize how normal, like how weird I make people feel. And sometimes it's irritating because I'm like, you don't have to be that way. Don't be intimidated. And have to coach people through
Yeah,
our
because it's
sessions.
still like people are looking at it
Very much
in a
so.
porn aspect, but you are actually like, if you have a connection with a person, you basing it on that,
Right.
and they just looking at the porn part.
Right. They think porn star. I gotta fuck her throat. I gotta stick my dick way down her throat, further than the guy that I saw in that movie, or if I fuck her from the back. It has to be hard. And it's like, no, slow down.
Yeah,
If I'm shooting, if it's something you see on film, it's the total opposite of my normal, intimate, everyday life. I don't want that all the time.
yeah, I get it.
Like, shit, hold on. Like, I'm doing this because that's my job. I'm an entertainer. It's my job to entertain the world. So, of course, I'm going to be extra loud, extra this, extra that.
Yeah, for sure.
But in my normal, personal, sexual life, sometimes I want to slow it
You
down
just
a little
chill out.
bit.
Yeah, really feel a real
Slow
connection.
it down, but it is what it is. And it takes a lot of patience to do this shit because literally I find that's why I don't have personal sex usually. I don't, because it's too much coaching. I get tired of trying to coach these guys into what I need them to do, which I feel like my vagina is very simple. I'm clitoral.
Mm-hmm.
I can hump a pillow and bust a nut. So treat me how I would treat this beautiful pillow. And I'll be done. After that, if you want to turn into a fucking savage, then I'll give you that.
Now
They
let
don't
me ask
they
you
don't get
this:
it.
what is the worst part about being in the industry?
I feel like
Not what's the worst part of being in the industry. What is the worst part about being a porn star?
the worst part about it is that you'll never not be one. No matter how old I get, you'll always be able to Google me. You will always be able to see me naked. My body will forever be on the internet. So I feel like I'm forever judged for that. Even though, and it's funny because it's people who, the main people who point the finger. For instance, I did ghetto gaggers. You know about that site?
Yes.
I did it not once, I did it 3 times. And I killed it every time. They didn't outdo me. A couple times the director had to stop it. He was like, this is just seeming too fun. You're supposed to be looking like you're getting fucked beyond where you can't stand it. It wasn't like that in my scenes. And the people that were working with me, they were too into me to even give that type of performance to where it looked like how the site is based on. A lot of people think that shit's real. It's not real, it's all
Not, yeah.
scripted. You know, mental fucking is weird. And so they're thinking, yeah, they're fucking these black girls, they're fucking them, they're fucking them, fucking them. And they're throwing up and they're snatching off their wigs and this is how it really is. But little do you know, the same white boy that you're thinking is just fucking the dog shit out of me is moaning in my ear and having to stop 20, 30 times because he's about to fucking nut. And he's just too into it more than he should be when he's supposed to be looking like he's abusing me. And I get a lot of shit off that. I get a lot of shit off that, even though that was like a decade ago. And I did one scene where I've always had a fantasy. People always ask me, what is your ultimate thing? And I wanted to have sex with 20 guys. Whatever it was, however which way. And I wanted them to come all over me. Finally, I get my opportunity to do a come bang. And we booked 22 guys. We got 14 guys.
Okay.
There was no vaginal sex. It was all oral. And then ultimately I got the cum shower. And they will not let it go. She fucking sucked 14 white guys' dicks and they nutted all over her face. And she's a fucking black, white, loving whore. They won't let it go. They won't let it go. So I feel like...
Yeah, that's why, like, you know, by me being a person that brought a lot of people into the industry and being responsible for bringing girls in,
yeah,
I always had that talk with them, like,
watch
you
what you do.
realize this shit, what it's gonna do for you. You can't run from it.
Ever.
You know what I'm saying? And this shit is different. It's different than music. It's different than sports.
It's
People
different.
are looking, yeah, you know, so you gotta really think about
what you about to get into
yeah.
before you get behind this camera. And I agree with you 100%. I say that because my first, no, after that was my first scene that I told you about. That's not even the scene. My second scene, my whole family found out about it. Because one of my mom has a big family. My mom's one of 13. And it's fucked up. My favorite aunt, so I thought, told my entire family what she saw. And that's how my family found out I did porn.
How was that experience? I mean, as far as your mom.
My mom is like, she's amazing. I've never seen anybody like it. Like, this is like real life superwoman. She's like, okay, that's what you choose to do.
Oh,
You
wow.
safe, you fine, you cool. All right, either you grow out of it or you gonna make a shitload of money off of it. She's never.
So she was very supportive.
We've never even had to talk about it. How about that?
Okay, that's dope.
She's done a lot of the girls in the industry's hair. They've actually interviewed her. And even my 2 sisters, like we just go with the flow. They've never questioned me. They don't doubt me. That's how much love has been in that little bit of circle of these 4 women. Like, because I grew up with just my mom and my 2 sisters. That's it. I remember spending summers in the house with them. So we never had a reason to judge each other. We know each other inside and out. So they know if I make a decision that it was for a good reason. Never been questioned. Never. But outside of that, they ran with it. I mean, my whole family, grandma, uncles, everybody knew about it. Nobody will really say anything to me directly, but they all. And I've lost relationships with like cousins, people who will not, still to this day, they'll talk to me, but they don't even look at me. But they'll ask me for shit. Things like that, you know, but there's some that do have the respect for me, like she did her thing, like at least she did it and she made a bunch of money off of it. But yeah, there's still a lot of.
Now, this one question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
You've been doing this shit for a while.
Yes.
How do you feel about? Okay, now you got OnlyFans.
Okay.
And like I said, we've been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah.
Do you remember the days when porn was taboo and people was like, "Oh my God, you do porn," and now
everybody wants to do it.
but the OnlyFans people is still some people that fucking suck on camera that don't consider themselves. This is not a porn. So
It's porn.
what do you think about that? Knowing that in this day and age, like when we started, people was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not doing that." And
Right.
now, if I go to the grocery store
Right.
and see a random woman with your type body, big
Yeah.
titties, big ass, 8 times out of 10,
Yeah.
she got an OnlyFans.
Absolutely.
Ain't that shit crazy?
And she don't consider it porn. You're a whole porn star, honey. You're taking dick or showing your pussy on film. You do porn. I literally went out to like a 5-star restaurant, and I'm sitting there. And of course, when people see me, they automatically, when they see big boobs, they automatically know. That's what they think. They know it. They know it. So I'm waiting for my sisters who were late as usual, and I'm having drinks, and then this white couple sitting next to me. And they're like, "Well, we want to buy you a drink." And I'm already in. I'm like, if I buy one, I'm going to buy you one. So I'm being social, butterfly, like I always do. And we're drinking. And flat out, the lady, "What do you do?" I don't sugarcoat it. "I do porn." "You do porn?" "Yeah, I do porn." Her and her husband are sitting there like, "Whoa." Like, y'all already knew that. I could tell because you engage with nobody else around here but me. You know? I do porn. So we're talking about it, and the OnlyFans things come up. Like, yeah, we looked into it. We want to do it. Come to find out, this lady was a scientist, and her husband owned a gym. And they wanted to do a freaking OnlyFans. And I'm explaining to them the ins and outs from what I knew. This is how you do it. Sign up here. This is what you do. Blah, blah, blah. You want to wear a mask. You want to wear whatever you want to do. And you're going to make money off of it. And she took my number down, and I bullshit you not, I believe that they started one. And I think they're doing like a couple's sex thing. But mind you, these are your everyday average people who you probably would talk shit about her husband catching him jacking off in the 4A somewhere. But she's a scientist and he owns a gym. And they're fucking on film. But they're not porn stars. Can't make it up. Can't make this shit up.
That shit's crazy. So, another thing, right?
Yeah.
You walking around with these big giant titties, okay? And I know for porn they come in handy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I know people like constantly fuck with you and harass you. You know what I'm saying?
They do. They look at them.
And you wake up as Jayden Starr. You can't run from it.
You can't.
But do you ever I'm sure you had situations where you just like, all right, I'm going to go to the grocery store.
Right.
Or I'm going to go buy me some shoes, and motherfuckers are just like, do you ever get sick of it? Like, damn, I wish I could go outside in somebody else's body.
See, the thing is, I've always loved big boobs. If people remember me from when I started, I had little boobs. They were tiny little boobs. You remember. They were little. Mm-hmm. But I always wanted big boobs. Like, I was that teenage girl, I'll admit it. You'll be the first to know this. I used to stuff my bra. Not a lot of teenage girls probably did. But I did. I wanted boobs, you know? And so when I got into the industry, and one day I just got a big check in the mail, and I was just like, I'm going to buy some tits. And so I went and bought some. My first pair of boobs. They were like 700 cc's or some shit like that. And they were the best thing ever. I went from these little bitty boobs to these big boobs, and I just loved it. And people think I did it for the industry, but no, it had nothing to do with it. Like, I always had an infatuation with wanting a big chest. I had a big butt, but I wanted big boobs. But to get back to your question, I've always had admirers, even before. You know, it comes, and that's why I feel like I'm so humble when it comes to being not only an adult entertainer, but just being myself in general, because I've never not been noticed. And can I say that without sounding cocky? Throughout high school, middle school, I've always been known as, she got a cute face and pretty teeth and, you know, cute little butt. And my personality, I think, took me a long way. Mm-hmm. And I've always been noticed as a pretty girl. Like, you know, so I've always known I'm cute. So just getting in the industry, yeah, it intensified it, because now it I feel like it brought more like sexual energy towards me, because maybe I didn't notice it back then. I'm always like, okay, yeah, they think I'm cute. I know I'm cute. But people back then, boys weren't really trying to have sex with you like that. They just wanted to say, this is my girlfriend. Like, I was that girl that they wanted to say, that was my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. You know, I was a cheerleader, ROTC. I did all that shit. I was very active with everything around me. But I wasn't really sexually active. So when I got into the industry, which people were like, I'm surprised to see this in you. But then I have a handful of people that maybe I dated in high school. They were like, dude, when we did have sex, you wanted to try shit that I would have never thought to try. And I didn't know that I wanted to try that shit either, but I knew I was horny. I was horny. I was horny as fuck. So they were like, I'm not surprised that you turned out to be a fucking porn star. I'm surprised that I'm not surprised because you did shit to me that I didn't even know that we were supposed to do.
Example?
Like, I think, can I say the age limit? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my very first out-of-state boyfriend was from a town called Waycross, Georgia. He was my second boyfriend. I was 17. My first flight ever taking anywhere was to Atlanta. And we met through another girl that I knew from high school. And she had a big old booty. Her name was Velma. And I never knew a Velma besides the Velma from Scooby-Doo. You know? And I was like, she got a big old ass. Like, damn. But we became friends. And I thought, I was like, she's so awesome. We used to just hang out. And then one day she up and moved. And it made me sad. I'm like, oh, she moved. But she never lost contact with me. She went to Atlanta, where her family was from. And she's like, I got a boyfriend here, but he got a friend. And I'm sending you pictures. And back then we had the little phones that slid up. What do you call those? The chocolates. So I'm trying to figure out how to take pictures. I'm like, I'm sending this boy a picture. So I ended up taking my first flight to go see her, but it was really to go see the boy. And I got there and I bought all these different little clothes. And I'm like, okay. Like, she's introduced me to this guy. Long story short, we start having sex. And I'm thinking like normal traditional sex, I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. We're doing it. And then after a while, I wanted to do more. So I introduced him to anal. I've never done anal, but I wanted to try it. I just knew that I wanted him to fuck me in the ass. I knew it. And he did. And he was the first person that told me, he was like, bro, I haven't seen you after we broke up. This was like 17. I seen him maybe, he talked to me on Facebook maybe like 6 years later. He's like, I saw you on film. And he said, I knew that this is something that you could do because what you did to me, and I'll never forget it. This is back in 2006. He said, I've never been the same since. And I had no fucking clue what I was doing. But I let him do it. And I knew that it was amazing. It didn't last very long. But I didn't know that it stuck in his mind 6 years later. So, yeah. I was always adventurous. I feel like I was more adventurous than the boys. I was very more open. After that, I took off. 18, I had sex with a dude in a laundromat. 18, 19, I did a lot of shit.
Were you already, your first experience having sex with two dudes, were you in porn or was it before?
In porn.
Okay.
My first, and I've never had one since. Like a double penetration type thing. It was only one time. And it was in porn. Yeah.